Hi folks, I am sure all of you are having a wonderful time with your families this weekend. As usual, I've come to talk to you about a very interesting and contemporary topic and something which will be of very interest to when someone is on a job hunt. In case you like to have a lot of videos and any relevant information on life and careers, I can ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. It will be of a lot of help and support to me. Also leave a note or comment as to what topics you think are relevant to speak about today. One contemporary thing or one current thing which is happening in many cases with job applicants or somebody who's been seeking jobs is I'm applying to a lot of jobs but I'm not getting a response. This is a constant refrain which is being heard across the entire spectrum of candidates. It can be entry level, mid level or senior level, and as a consultant, someone who's handling a lot of candidates across different roles, and as someone who's also observing the employment market, I can tell you that this is a big complaint today amongst candidates seeking change in roles or seeking employment or seeking better prospects and things like that. While there are a lot of reasons why people are not getting responses, of course, each job posted on a job website or a LinkedIn or any other appropriate jobs forum has its own dynamics. Each organization has got its own unique hiring methods, positions go on hold. The concerned talent acquisition team just keeps pulling resumes or building a database and doesn't respond to any position. Yes, these are all constant factors which lead to a non-response from a prospective employer when you're applying for a job. But one most important thing which I think is very pertinent and very much in your hands is what I would call as resume spraying. What is resume spraying? Resume spraying is the practice of you just applying for jobs left, right and center. You go on LinkedIn, LinkedIn sends you a job alert saying that this job could suit you. You seldom go into the details of that, and probably in an urge or spur of the moment reaction, you just apply for the job, and probably you think, let me look into it later, but for now I'll apply for the job. Same thing in the case of job portals like Naukri, Monster or whatever. One thing we should understand is the matches which these job portals or LinkedIn kind of forums send you are broad fits. They are not really perfect fits for your job. For example, if I have posted in my job title or in my professional title in LinkedIn that I am a writer, anything to do with writing, it can be fresh writers, writing interns, experienced writers, technical writers, anything and everything, I get a job alert. Similarly, if you are somebody who is doing Java, J2E coding or whatever, you just have to have those keywords in your job somewhere on your job title or LinkedIn title or whatever. And in case if you have your resume on a jobs database, only somewhere in your profile, if you mention that, immediately they start matching all and sundry jobs to that particular to roles which you might or might not suit you. So it is very important to carefully go through the job description and understand what the role is, see if the role is a fit for you in terms of both skills, competencies and also your experience, and then only send an application. And that also, I would say, when you send an application, I always say you customize your resume. Customize your resume for every single job, and doing that itself will cut off this resume spraying habit broadly. Because today what is happening is you just have one profile and you think you shoot it out all over and see what happens. I've seen people post videos on YouTube itself saying that I applied for 100 jobs, there is no response, the job market is pathetic and things like that. Yes, there is no doubt that the job market is slow, things are not very great in terms of global corporate environment and even Indian corporate environment. There are ups and downs in the economy, and there are also talks about a recession being around the corner, both in Europe and the US. India also, there has been a degrowth in terms of the economy itself because of the RBI governor in India had attributed it to the parliamentary elections early this year. So it goes on, and this is a cycle. Economy is a cycle. There are ups and downs in an economy. Job markets again are bullish at times, but at times there's a lot of slump. Irrespective of all that, one way to really improve your strike rate as a applicant or a prospective employee is to really Apply for jobs only for which are relevant for you. I think if you have set an auto applicant mode in any of these job sites or professional forums, you should put it off. You'd carefully go through a job description, and unless otherwise you are very, very serious that this is a good role, not in terms of job content but also in terms of prospective employer. Is it a target employer you are looking at? Is the employer a better employer than where you are? Will you learn better in that job? Will you get a better experience? Will you get a better compensation, better job title? There are 100 other factors which are the deciding factor. When you apply for the job, it is not that you have to blindly apply for the job and see what happens. That is a very, very unprofessional and rather I would say even kiddish method of applying for jobs today. And believe me, most people who claim that they're not getting response for jobs are in this category. They just send their applications to all and sundry, leave their resumes in job portals, float their resumes all over the place and see that no response is happening. Because that itself is the problem. If I am a consultant, and as a consultant, if I see your profile all over the place, I see your updated profile with a link on LinkedIn, I see your updated profile on Facebook, I see your updated profile on Naukri, Monster, everywhere. Obviously, the immediate thought which comes to my mind is you're just floating around all over the place. That itself is a very, very negative connotation, or comes across as a negative connotation. And believe me, there are some talent acquisition professionals and employers who look at all these when they hire professionals. If I'm looking for a very, very smart candidate, extremely good candidate, I don't want that candidate to be all over the place. I probably want that candidate to apply to me directly through my corporate portal or the jobs portal in my corporate site, or probably if I'm working with executive search or contingency recruitment professionals, third-party professionals, I would want them to source this candidate and give that to me. And sourcing itself, by virtue of the meaning, sourcing means somebody is really coming and hunting down from you and getting your profile from you and then sending it to the prospective employer. So that is why they always say, I have sourced your profile, I have sourced your profile. So to source your profile, your profile itself should be very, very scarce. It can't be all over the place, because if it is all over the place, then all and sundry are going to have that job. So I would urge you to stop this habit of spraying your resume all over the place, and you'll immediately see that there is a drastic change in your response rate, because that is a singular reason for a lot of people not getting responses, because they're not really being very, very scientific in their job search approach. You have to have a very, very scientific job approach. As I said earlier in this podcast, be very clear in terms of what your next role is, what is the target organization you want to work for, which is the organization which is going to reward your niche skills, or if you are a very generic profile, where will you grow well, what is the kind of growth ladder which the organization giving you, is it a better organization than what you are now, or it is a worse organization which you shouldn't look at. So there are these factors can go on and on and on, and this whole thing is a process, and that is why we say job search is not a overnight thing. The job search is never a sprint, it is a marathon. The right job, you'll land in your dream job only if you consider the job search as a marathon. And believe me, the biggest enemy of your good job prospect is resume spraying. So I'll urge you to stop resume spraying today. Get more scientific in terms of your job hunt process, and make sure that you apply only for relevant and probably serious jobs, serious employers who are really contenders to employ you, who are the right people to employ you, and who are people who deserve you as a great employee. Remember this in mind, irrespective of, I'm not saying you should have niche skills or you should have generic skills. You need not be the best in the world, but even if you are a probably average professional, the ways, the steps from being average to moving up to the ladder in terms of becoming better and becoming excellent is only by this approach. You position yourselves better, you position yourselves as a very smart professional, and you position that you are here as a serious contender for any job, and you are getting into the application process or the hiring process only after being well aware of what exactly you are doing and what exactly your goals are. Remember, unless otherwise your goals are very clear, everybody can take you in the market. Any employer can take you easily at his own terms. But if you have your goals clear, then very clearly you are going to have your own terms and conditions in terms of what kind of employment, what kind of compensation, what kind of hike you are looking at, and what kind of title you'd want, and within how many years years you want to get to the next role. Whether the prospective employer is someone who's going to promote you because you did a good job in 1.5, 2 years time, or at least 3 years time. If it is an organization where you're not going to grow and you just spray your resume and get placed, there is no point in terms of that move being a part of your long-term career growth. Long-term career growth comes only when people plan their career excellently, and those who plan their career excellently are not resume sprayers. Remember that. Stop resume spraying and do the best thing for your career today. Never again, maybe if you are in the habit of spraying resumes, you stop it right now, right today, and start getting very, very serious in terms of what exactly is going to be your next employment or employee step. That only will probably help you get better response. I know a lot of people who stopped this habit of resume spraying, and they've seen drastic improvement in their strike rate in terms of getting interviews. Somebody who has a scientific approach in terms of applying for jobs, seeking employment, clearly gets one interview call out of probably 4 applications. That is a strike rate you should have, if not better. I'm not saying every application of yours or every resume mailed of yours should get an interview, but at least 4 in 1 or 5 in 1 is a very, very reasonable thing to expect if you're a good professional. This is the information I want to share with you. Of course, there could be an array of other reasons why people are not getting responses, but the biggest reason, I would say probably a 75% reason for people not getting responses today is resume spraying. Stop resume spraying. You will see a qualitative difference in terms of your responses, and you also see a qualitative difference in terms of what kind of employers come seeking you. And another word here, in case you are seeking a job, in case there's a consultant like me who is going to approach you for a job, be very, very clear in terms of what you're looking at, and please ask for the written job description very, very clearly. A lot of us actually are pretty lazy to send job descriptions to candidates. Number one is because we don't take the pain of writing job descriptions for every job we work on. And number two, when we as consultants ask a prospective employer whom we work with for job descriptions, the immediate refrain is, come on, you know what this job is, why don't you write a job description? And a whole lot of times people in our own teams across organizations, similar organizations, don't take the pain of writing job descriptions, and immediately we say, no, job description is not there. Believe me, if someone tells you they don't have a job description, just don't respond to them, because if they are serious about your candidature, they will probably come back to you with the proper job description. They'll at least take the pains to write a proper job description, thus at least for the sake of you, and that is a sign of a very good candidate. If you are a good candidate, and if I am going to want you for a role, obviously I better write a proper job description and giving it you. So keep it as a thumb rule. Ask for job descriptions. As a matter of fact, even when corporate HR or corporate recruiters reach out to you, please ask for job descriptions and tell them that you will only be comfortable in taking a next step in case there are proper job descriptions. If there is an ambiguity in the job description, if there are ambiguity in the role, then you are only going to waste time, and the hiring manager or the hiring process itself is going to waste of time. So keep all this in mind. I'm sure all these tips help. Although this podcast started about resume spraying, it also has covered a lot of other issues in terms of job hunting, which will be very, very useful to you. I'm sure this will be of help to you, and please pass it on to your friends and colleagues who might find it useful. Thanks a lot for your time, and again, as I said at the beginning of the video, consider liking and subscribing. Thank you. Have a wonderful time ahead, and I wish you a very fruitful career ahead.